my illicit affair with a married coworker, and the shocking paternity revelation. I never imagined my life would turn into a soap opera. I'm Kyle, 33 years old, a marketing executive with a fairly normal life. Well, that was until I met her Rachel. She was this stunning, enigmatic woman, 29 years old, with a wild streak that made her irresistible. We met at a conference in Miami, and things spiraled out of control from there. It started innocently enough, drinks at the hotel bar, laughing over shared industry frustrations, but there was an undeniable spark. Before I knew it, we were wrapped up in each other, not caring about the consequences. She was married, but in her words, unhappily. I was single, with no real commitments. It felt like the universe was giving us a free pass, or so I thought. The affair was electric, full of passion and excitement. We met in secret, always careful, always on edge. The thrill of almost getting caught was intoxicating, but it was also a tangled web of deceit and guilt. Rachel's husband, Mark, was no saint, but he didn't deserve this. At least, that's what I told myself when the guilt gnawed at me. Rachel and I would steal moments in between our busy lives. Lunchtime rendezvous in hidden corners of the city, stolen weekends at obscure bed and breakfasts. It was like living in a fantasy, where the real world and its consequences didn't exist, but deep down, I knew it couldn't last. The suspense and excitement hit a fever pitch one sweltering night in August. Rachel called me, her voice trembling. She was at my apartment, waiting. When I got there, I found her pacing, a wild look in her eyes. "Kyle, we need to talk," she said, her voice cracking. My heart sank. This was it, the beginning of the end. She told me Mark had found out about us. He had hired a private investigator. There were pictures, evidence, and now, he was threatening to ruin both our lives. My career, her marriage, everything was hanging by a thread. We sat in silence, the weight of our actions crashing down on us. And then she dropped the bombshell. "I'm pregnant," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. My mind raced. Was it mine, or Mark's? The timing was right for either of us. The room felt like it was spinning. "What are we going to do?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "We have to end this, Kyle. I need to fix things with Mark, for the baby's sake," she said, her resolve hardening. I felt a mix of relief and heartbreak. I knew she was right, but the thought of losing her was unbearable. We parted ways that night, with promises to never contact each other again. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done, but it was the right thing, or so I thought. Months passed. I threw myself into work, trying to forget her, to move on. But she haunted me. Every laugh, every smile, every touch replayed in my mind. And then, out of the blue, I received a package. Inside was a letter and a small box. The letter was from Rachel. She had given birth to a baby girl. Her name was Lily. The box contained a paternity test. My hands shook as I opened it. The results confirmed what I had dreaded and hoped for at the same time. Lily was mine, my daughter. I was overwhelmed with emotions, joy, fear, and an intense sense of responsibility. I needed to see her, to be part of her life, but how? I reached out to Rachel, careful to respect her boundaries. We met at a park, where she introduced me to Lily. She was perfect, and as I held her for the first time, I knew I couldn't stay away. Rachel and I had a long talk. Mark had left her when he found out about the baby, and she was raising Lily alone. We decided to co-parent, to give Lily the best life possible. It wasn't the fairy tale ending, but it was a new beginning. As I walked away from that first meeting, I felt a mix of shame and hope. Our desires had tangled our lives in ways we never imagined, but out of the chaos, something beautiful had emerged. Life was messy, unpredictable, but it had a way of surprising you when you least expected it. And that was the biggest twist of all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling tales like this one. Have a wild story of your own? Drop it in the comments below. We can't wait to hear your craziest adventures.